They vanished from a quiet yard in rural Nova Scotia, and everything that followed has been equal parts intense searching, weary waiting, and explosive online debate, none of it bringing the two children home. If you want to track every verified update on this case and stand with those asking for answers, hit subscribe and turn on notifications now so you don't miss anything important. The story of Lily and Jack Sullivan is painfully simple in outline and stubbornly complex in detail. Two young children were last seen at a family home on May 1st to 2nd, 2025, and sometime that morning they were reported missing. In the weeks and months that followed, police searches swept woods, ditches, waterways and back roads, volunteers marched in organized grids, drones and helicopters scoured canopy gaps, and investigators pulled bank records, phone data and hundreds of hours of footage to build an accurate timeline. The case drew national attention, a $150,000 reward, thousands of public tips, and a community whose grief and anger grew as the facts refused to line up neatly for anyone. What has emerged is not a single clear narrative, but a mosaic of observations, contradictions, and forensics, some pieces that illuminate, many that only deepen the mystery. From the start, the family became the center of public focus. The mother, Malehya, also spelled Malehya in some documents, Brooks Murray, and her partner, Daniel Martel, were the last adults at home. Police statements and court filings document 5 formal interviews with the mother, in which she described her life, the children's routines, and the behavior of those in the household. In her recounting, she portrayed Martel as involved and authoritative, a parent who helped when she felt overwhelmed and who the children listened to. She denied physical discipline and stressed ordinary family rhythms, errands, a grocery run, a trip to New Glasgow where surveillance clips later showed the family the afternoon before the disappearance. But the public release of redacted documents left gaps that many filled with speculation. Those gaps are where rumor and grief rushed in. They are also where investigators say they cannot speak without jeopardizing the case. Then came the new, explosive layer, an alleged confession attributed by some online sources to the mother. It is crucial to be clear, as of the latest verified statements from law enforcement, no official confirmation exists that a criminal confession has been made or accepted as evidence. Yet the word confession has a gravity that reverberates. When it drifts into public conversation, it changes how people interpret other facts. Investigators have repeatedly reminded the public that statements made in grief or under stress can be misread, and that words taken out of context are no substitute for corroborated evidence. That caveat matters because this investigation, like most complex missing person inquiries, depends on cross-checking every claim against phone records, timestamps, video footage, and physical forensics. Stress, exhaustion, and trauma shape behavior in ways that confuse families, neighbors, and online audiences alike. A parent who is exhausted may not make the impassioned public plea people expect. A caregiver who hires a lawyer early, or remains silent in public, can be judged harshly despite very real legal reasons to limit media comments. In this case, the mother's public silence has become an interpretive flashpoint. To some it reads as guilt, to others it is a protective measure advised by counsel. Psychological research shows people respond differently to crisis. Some speak constantly, others withdraw entirely, and public snapping to judgment often follows the performance that viewers expect rather than the reality of what is happening in private. Against that human complexity, the RCMP has continued its painstaking evidence gathering. Polygraph tests were conducted on several family members and associates. While polygraphs are not definitive proof of innocence or guilt, the documents state the tests were used to rule out possibilities. Investigators seized items they believed could contain forensic traces. Lily's pink blanket that was later found in 2 locations near the home, toothbrushes, a sock, and clothing fragments. Soil samples, impression casts of boot prints, and thousands of hours of nearby camera footage were requested and analyzed. The police requested GPS and cell tower records, banking transactions, and video from highway toll booths to rule out the possibility that the children were taken out of the province. That level of digital and physical diligence reflects a modern investigative approach. People's public and financial lives leave timestamps investigators can corroborate. But in the middle of careful procedure and cross-referencing, public opinion moved fast, and often inaccurately. Social media forums and algorithm-amplified videos amplified speculation into persuasive narratives. Some posts asserted definitive conclusions without evidence, others blended visible facts, bruises in family photos, a torn blanket, a single boot impression, with conjecture and rumor. That surge of armchair sleuthing complicated the environment around the case. It created an atmosphere in which every family member's gesture or silence could be weaponized as proof, and in which genuine leads risked being drowned by noise. Investigators publicly warned that wild theories and false tips divert resources and harm those grieving. Neighbors and relatives painted a more textured portrait of life at the Gairloch Road home before the disappearance. Some described the children as healthy, lively, and often playing outside. Others recounted signs of strain and moments of concern. Witnesses reported seeing the family run errands the day before the missing report, and the last fixed public image of the siblings came from surveillance footage at a New Glasgow store in the afternoon. A later, independent witness told investigators she saw children resembling Lily and Jack walking down the Gairloch Road toward Westville, accompanied by a woman standing by a tan or gold sedan with the rear passenger door open. Investigators continue to work to confirm whether that sighting matches the missing children, and every reported sighting receives the same methodical treatment. At the same time, some crucial physical evidence remains stubbornly ambiguous. The pink blanket found in the woods and later a torn piece found in a trash bag near the driveway are both emotionally charged and forensically complicated. Environment exposure, time, and animal activity can change what evidence yields. The single boot print cast for analysis matched a size consistent with Lily's footwear, but a size match alone cannot identify an individual or determine the trail's timing. That is why investigators ask for patience and verifiable tips. A single piece of incontrovertible corroboration, a dashcam clip, a time-stamped image, DNA on an object, can change the whole picture. Beyond specific physical items, broader institutional questions have surfaced. Some community members and relatives have asked whether prior interactions with social services or police were missed opportunities to intervene. The case has raised hard conversations about child protective services, reporting thresholds, and whether warning signs were adequately followed up on. Those questions press on systems that operate under complex rules and limited resources. They also strike at a raw human instinct to ask whether anything could have been done sooner. Public officials have acknowledged those concerns and pointed to the investigative work underway while insisting that speculation about past failures should not derail the focus on finding the children. What happens next in an investigation of this scale? Law enforcement continues to review and prioritize hundreds of tips, comb through thousands of video files, and run forensic tests that can take days or weeks. Investigators will cross-reference any new claims against data secured earlier. Phone pings, bank transactions, camera timestamps, and witness statements. For every person who posts a new theory online, investigators must decide whether the lead merits human resource deployment. That triage is part of modern policing but often invisible and frustrating to the public watching from afar. There are practical takeaways from how this case has unfolded so far. First, verified data is critical in piecing together movement and motive. Hard timestamps and physical trace evidence are the kinds of things that move investigations forward in ways public opinion cannot. Second, silence or non-performance by family members does not equal guilt. It may reflect legal guidance, trauma, or other private choices. Third, social media speculation can help surface overlooked pieces of information, but it more often creates confusion and sometimes endangers ongoing inquiry. Fourth, community engagement remains essential. Volunteers and neighbors provide boots-on-the-ground searches and vital local information that police cannot access alone. Most importantly, the human reality remains unchanged. 2 children are missing, and their family, their friends, and a wider community want answers. Lawyers, investigators, volunteers, and forensic teams are working under pressure that is both public and private. While the public may hunger for a quick narrative, a confession, a breakthrough, a neat arrest, real investigations are often slow, methodical, and driven by evidence that must be defensible in court and reliable in practice. If you have anything that could help, even a short video clip, a dashcam recording, or a memory of a car, person, or detail that seems insignificant, pass it to investigators through official channels. The RCMP and local authorities have reiterated, don't repost unverified claims publicly, and instead bring concrete information to the tip lines they've set up. That is how a rumor becomes a lead, and how a lead becomes a piece of a true, verifiable timeline. In the coming days and weeks, expect more careful, if sometimes incomplete, updates from investigators who must safeguard both evidence and the integrity of the inquiry. Meanwhile, families and neighbors continue to keep vigil. Advocates call for rigorous, transparent work from institutions that protect children, and the public watches, waiting for the clear, evidence-based answers that will bring peace or accountability. Until that time, the best thing anyone can do is stay focused on verified facts, support organized search efforts, and bring any tangible evidence directly to the authorities. This case is far from over. The investigator's message, ask anyone with information to come forward, is the clearest path to resolution. If you value responsible coverage and want to follow verified developments, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. We will keep reporting what law enforcement confirms, and we will press for clarity and compassion as the search for Lily and Jack continues.